All right, good afternoon, everyone. So this is my first time in Israel, but I've been learning so much from everyone that I've interacted with over the past couple of days. So when I'm not hanging out with you guys, I'm based in Washington, D.C., and I spend a lot of time playing with maps and models. Yep. And I am keenly aware of a lot of the challenges that some of our colleagues have presented today, which is to quantify and measure and value natural resources. But the good news is that we've had a lot of advancements in technology and in our understanding of the different processes of ecosystem services. And institutions like WRI have been working to bring tools together that make science and technology accessible to everybody today. And yeah. And to help you realize how enormous of a progress we have made in terms of technology, this is a picture if we were to put every active satellite orbiting the Earth on a piece of paper. This is how it would look like. So think about the power we have to observe the planet today. So today I'm really excited to present you 3 sets of tools that will help you measure water risk, monitor forest changes, and prioritize where to put natural-based solutions. So today, as we face growing water challenges, WRI's Aqueduct Global Water Risk Mapping Tool is designed to help corporations, investors, governments, and other users to understand how and where water risk challenges and opportunities are emerging around the world. So, Aqueduct Mapping Tool combines 12 water quality and quantity as well as regulatory risk indicators that allows users to visualize and compare different water stress that different parts of the world is facing. So if you imagine if you're a sustainability manager of Coca-Cola, where production of the company heavily depends on water, you would really want to know where your production facility is facing the most risk, where you would like to direct your resources to mitigate that problem. And to give you a sense, the 12 indicators that derive water stress range from baseline water stress, which is the ratio of water use over available water, to seasonal and interannual variability. And to present you the power of our data, to give you an example, so here is the Middle East and Northern Africa region. We divided our data into over 1,000 hydrological catchments, and we've gathered data from over 50 years of monthly runoff data from NASA. And also to help users prepare for the future, which is more difficult to measure, we have modeled future water risk based on 3 ensembles, both based on climate models as well as socioeconomic scenarios, which is optimistic, business as usual, and pessimistic. And so if we were to zoom in to Israel, this is probably not news to you. Most of the country face high water risk. And if everything goes as business as usual, a lot of the country will face 2 times and more increase in water stress, especially in the central and northern part of the country. And according to the model, in 2040, Israel, among other Middle Eastern countries, will rank one of the highest water-stressed countries in the world. These really high water stress situations really help to prioritize where resources are most warranted to implement climate action plans, as well as management plans that will protect the most essential water resources for the many years to come. So with advances in satellite and technology, not only can we capture water stress data, it also helps us, given us an eye to monitor how forests are changing. So in collaboration with the University of Maryland, NASA, and Google, WRI's Global Forest Watch platform provides an interactive online app that tracks forest changes in 30 by 30 meter resolution from the year of 2000 to year of 2015, and the data renews every single year. As I've talked with many mappers and GIS analysts, Israel has a tremendous bank of data. However, Global Forest Watch platform provides an inexpensive method to help you track how land use and forest is changing without having to go into the field every year and fills in the gap when surveys are not done. So for each country, GFW reports on the extent of tree cover, which is the vegetation that's higher than 5 meters and with a canopy density of over a certain percentage that you can define. And here we define that density as 30%. And in the report that we can look at, the tree cover in the year of 2000 and tree cover loss from year 2000 to 2014, the carbon stocks in forest biomass, and the stats related to employment in forestry sector and its contribution to the country's economy. And if you have questions or would like to modify your results, you can change the area of analysis, or change the years that's reported on tree cover loss, or change the definition of forest by changing the canopy density. So for example, if I were to change the default density of 30% to 10%, more vegetation is recognized as forest in Israel. So what does this mean for people who work in the forestry field? So yesterday, I recognized there is a huge peak in forest loss in the year of 2011. So I asked our colleagues what happened in that year. So it turned out in 2010, there was an enormous forest fire in the Mount Carmel area. And looking in the map, in the year 2001, there was no forest loss detected. In 2006, there are some red patches in the lower corner. And in 2011, we can see the large patch of red. That's where the forest fire had happened. And with Global Forest Watch, it's easy for anyone without any expertise in GIS or remote sensing to understand the extent and the cause of the change. So, in addition to tracking forest change, GFW can also be your one-stop data portal to obtain information related to land cover and land use, conservation, and other socioeconomic systems, such as land ownership types. And in addition to the main site, GFW is home to a collection of different applications and for specific natural resources management, and also different kinds of partnerships around the world. So we know that Israel really cares about how fire is taking place in the country and how that's impacting forest cover. So with Global Forest Watch fires, you can see where the active fires have happened in the last week, from the last day to up to a week. And this map shows the direction and strength of the wind to help you predict where the fire may go and where the air quality may be affected. So another GFW application that's closely related to natural solution for improving water security is Global Forest Watch Water that Todd and I are leading the development, and which will be launched in late August at the World Water Week in Stockholm. So as we become more and more aware of the linkage between healthy landscapes and the watershed's ability to provide ecosystem services, we have designed GFW Water to help users visualize watershed information, understand the type and severity of threats to watershed health from changes in the watershed, and get recommendation on watershed nature-based solutions and information on how to implement such projects. To really help people get around the idea of using watershed as a lens to implement natural infrastructure, the database includes information that covers the globe for 230 major watersheds. And if you would like to zoom in to an area of your interest, you can drop a pin and obtain an area of your interest that's part of the larger watershed. And we have also worked with partners within WRI and some of the most advanced users and developers in the spatial planning realm, such as Esri and TNC, to obtain the best data and that are updating at a near real-time fashion. And finally, WRI and partners have been leader in the field, and we provide a wealth of information to help you plan these projects. And to give you an idea of how the custom analysis works. So this is Java Island in Indonesia. And if you are interested in one of the water intake points and want to see how upstream land would affect the intake point water quality, you can drop a pin and the sub-watershed will be created for you automatically, and the summary statistics analysis will be done for you. So Israel is part of the major watershed. Here we call it the Mediterranean Sea and East Coast watershed. And GFW reports on a range of stats and 4 different watershed risks, which range from a score of 1 to 5. And a score of 4 and above indicates that the watershed health is more likely to suffer as a result of exposure to that problem. And further investigation and urgent action would be needed to mitigate that risk. And as we see, the region suffers mostly from historical forest loss prior to the year of 2000, erosion, and fire. And the report breaks down for you the recent tree cover loss and every year what the extent that was. Historical forest loss with a score 5 of 5, and fire, score 3 out of 5. Erosion in the region is very high, And we look at all these changes and risks of the watershed in terms of how much water stress they're already facing. So according to the profile, we recommend that restoration and erosion control are some of the most prominent and immediate actions that the region could consider. So finally, for the very sophisticated users that are not satisfied by just clicking around a website, there are powerful, free, open source tools to help you make customized, science-based natural resources management plans. So the Nature Conservancy, WWF, and partners have developed a suite of tools that will help apply scientific findings on managing natural resources. So INVEST is one of the tools that is designed to help users identify areas where investment in ecosystem-based strategies may enhance human well-being as well as nature. So INVEST uses a wide range of models that are spatially explicit, and you can use maps as as the input information that can come from the biophysiological aspects as well as socioeconomic aspects. And after the model process it either by itself or as part of the ArcGIS info toolbox, you get outputs as maps in terms of biophysical terms such as tons of carbon sequestered, or economic terms such as the net present value of the sequestered carbon. And you can also use this tool at a local, regional, or global scale. And as you can see, there's a whole range of models that are built into the tool that range from recreation to timber production, and they're associated in different ways. So these models are based on production functions that define how changes in an ecosystem's function and processes may change the flow and values of ecosystem services. And these models account for both the supply as well as the benefit that people are receiving. You don't have to run every model that's included here, and you can select the ones that you're most interested in to obtain the results that are pertinent to your work. And to give you an example of how widely used INVEST have been applied in spatial planning, in corporate risk management all over the world. And to give you an example how INVEST could be helpful, so in the previous lecture from Todd, that we know that Sao Paulo, Brazil's largest economy, faced a historic water crisis in the year of 2014. And one of the drivers that led to the water crisis was the loss of forest in the watershed that supplied water to the metropolitan region. And 75% of the natural vegetation in the watershed had been cleared. So based on the model, we identified 5% of the watershed that's the most, that would yield the most benefit for example, sediment delivery reduction. And according to the model, by implementing natural infrastructure, 5% of the watershed would yield a reduction of 50% in sediment delivery. And finally, in addition to INVEST, the Nature Capital Project has also developed other tools to help you optimize investment for water, quantifying development impacts. For example, if you were to do a mitigation bank, this is how much you need to do work for. And many other things that can help you measure and communicate the value of natural resources. So as we learned today, that switching from a traditional way of managing resources to an ecosystem-based approach is a long process, and I hope you will get to explore and play with these tools and that you will be able to measure natural resources with these tools and communicate your findings and objectives and really help better management natural resources overall. And I know that I went through these very fast. If you're interested in any of the methodology, how we developed the risk scores and how the indicators are calculated, I'm more than happy to share that with you later. Thank you.